Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jikook Moments. Exciting news has arrived for ARMY. BTS has finally arrived in Chicago, USA, ahead of their highly anticipated two-day concert series on August 27th and 28th. The arrival of all 7 BTS members in the city has immediately attracted attention and increased the excitement among fans who have been eagerly waiting to see them perform. The journey to Chicago became even more interesting after a BTS crew cameraman shared a video showing the team on their way. The presence of BTS and the entire production crew in Chicago is a clear sign that preparations for the concerts are now entering their final stage. After their previous travels and performances, Chicago is ready to witness 2 unforgettable nights filled with energy alongside BTS and a sea of ARMY. It is not only BTS and the production team who are getting ready. Chicago also appears to be warmly welcoming ARMY from different places. The CTA team even showed an adorable and enthusiastic welcome for the BTS fans who will soon fill the city. The atmosphere ahead of the concerts is becoming increasingly exciting, with countless ARMY eagerly waiting to see their idols perform live. The 2 concert nights in Chicago are certainly among the most anticipated moments, not only for fans attending in person but also for ARMY around the world who continue to follow every latest update about BTS. Chicago, are you ready? BTS has arrived, and the big celebration with ARMY is about to begin. Amid the excitement surrounding the Chicago concerts, a moment from BTS's second concert in Toronto has also returned to the spotlight among fans. A short clip showing an interaction between Jungkook, Jimin, and Jin sparked various interpretations. Some people assumed that Jungkook did not want to sit next to Jimin, while others speculated that he was signaling to Jin to sit between them. However, when the entire sequence of events is taken into consideration, that interpretation does not seem to fully match what was actually shown. This is exactly why context is so important. A short video clip lasting only a few seconds can easily create a completely different narrative when it is separated from what happened before and after it. The first detail that stands out is that Jungkook appeared to be looking for Jimin. After finding out where Jimin was, Jungkook actually headed toward the area where Jimin was and chose to sit there. This detail is quite important because Jungkook had several other seating options. He could have stayed where he was or chosen another area with the other BTS members. Yet, based on the sequence shown, he chose to go toward where Jimin was. When Jimin approached, Jungkook also appeared to adjust his position and remained there until Jimin arrived and sat beside him. It is difficult to interpret this sequence as an attempt to avoid Jimin. Instead, the impression is much simpler. Jungkook seemed comfortable staying in that area, and the two eventually ended up sitting next to each other. Then Jin arrived, and this is where a small gesture from Jungkook became the subject of various speculations. Jungkook did appear to make a gesture, but when looked at more closely, the gesture could have been directed toward the floor rather than indicating an empty space between himself and Jimin. Moreover, the space between them appeared quite narrow, making it difficult to imagine Jin comfortably sitting between them without either Jungkook or Jimin moving first. Some people who claimed to have seen the situation more closely also interpreted Jungkook's gesture as him possibly pointing downward while joking around. After making the gesture, he appeared to laugh, making the moment easier to understand as a lighthearted joke with Jin rather than an attempt to create distance from Jimin. If Jungkook really wanted Jin to sit between them, there would have been a much clearer way to show it. He could have moved over and created enough space. But that does not appear to have happened. Jungkook remained where he was, while Jimin continued sitting beside him. Therefore, concluding that Jungkook was trying to avoid Jimin based only on a few seconds of a gesture seems like a bit of a stretch. When the entire sequence is viewed as a whole, the picture is actually much simpler. Jungkook noticed where Jimin was, went toward the area where Jimin was sitting, took a seat there, and eventually the two were sitting beside each other. When Jin arrived, Jungkook made a gesture while laughing, and the moment continued in a relaxed atmosphere with the other members. Interestingly, whenever Jimin and Jungkook share moments during concerts, whether talking, exchanging glances, paying attention to each other, whispering, or laughing together, fans often come up with different interpretations. Sometimes, however, A moment can simply be enjoyed for what it is without turning it into a much bigger story than what is actually visible. Jungkook and Jimin have been seen near each other several times during the concert. They talked, exchanged looks, and enjoyed the atmosphere together with the other BTS members. Small moments like these naturally allow every fan to have their own thoughts and feelings. However, it is important not to draw major conclusions from a short clip without considering the full context. In the moment being discussed this time, the sequence appears fairly clear. Jungkook noticed where Jimin was and moved toward him. He sat there, and then Jimin came over and took the seat beside him. After that, Jin appeared, Jungkook made a gesture while laughing, and the situation continued casually. There is little reason to create a much more complicated narrative when the sequence itself appears to be quite simple. Ultimately, everyone is free to have their own interpretation. However, looking at the complete context is always fairer than taking a few seconds from a video and building a major conclusion around them. Based on the sequence shown, it is difficult to say that Jungkook was trying to move away from or refusing to sit beside Jimin. Instead, what can be seen is that Jungkook chose to stay in the same area and remained comfortably seated beside Jimin. A small gesture toward Jin then became the subject of discussion, but the overall context suggests that the moment may have been much simpler than the various speculations surrounding it. Meanwhile, attention is now turning back to Chicago. BTS has arrived, concert preparations are becoming more complete, and ARMY from different places are getting ready to fill the city for 2 special nights. After all the warm moments and discussions from previous stops on the tour, Chicago will be the next stage where BTS creates more unforgettable memories with their fans. One thing is certain, whether on stage or during relaxed moments behind the scenes with the members, BTS always manages to bring excitement and happiness to ARMY. That is why, before quickly believing a narrative based on a short clip, perhaps it is best to look at the whole story first, and enjoy every BTS moment in a more positive way. Chicago is now ready. BTS has arrived, and 2 nights filled with surprises alongside ARMY are about to begin. So, what do you think? Based on the sequence of events, Jungkook actually appears to have chosen to stay in the same area as Jimin and remained seated beside him. His gesture toward Jin could simply have been a playful joke rather than a sign that he wanted to move away from Jimin. Ultimately, every ARMY is free to have their own interpretation. However, looking at the full context is always better than drawing conclusions from only a few seconds of a video. And now, our attention turns back to Chicago. BTS has arrived, ARMY is ready, and 2 energetic concert nights are about to begin. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest BTS news and moments with Jikook Moments. See you in the next video, ARMY.